Hello, here we're going to be looking at evaluating functions. So the objective here is evaluating functions for a range of different inputs, and we might also like to find the input for a particular output. So a quick definition before we get started, a function gives an output for a particular input. So for example, we have this function here. So what this actually means is we take a value x, we multiply it by 3, and then we add 2, and then we return the output. So for example, if x was 2, we would do 3 times 2, and then we would add on 2, and then we would return the output. So here's an example. So we have f of x equals 3x take away 4, and we want to evaluate the following. So f of 8. So the thing inside the bracket is just the input. So all we're going to do here is we're going to do 3 times 8 take away 4. So that is 20. So the answer to the first part is 20. The next part, we're working out f of 2, so this time we're replacing x with 2, so this is going to be 3 times 2 take away 4, which is 6 take away 4, so that is 2, so f of 2 is going to be 2. The next one, we have a negative input, but that's no problem, so this time our value of x is just minus 1, so this time we're going to do 3 times minus 1 minus 4, so 3 times minus 1 is minus 3, and then minus 3 take away 4, that's minus 7. And then f of 0, so here we have an input value of 0, so we're going to replace x with 0, so it's going to be 3 times 0 minus 4, and we should get minus 4. Okay, so that is the answer to that question. Here's a second example, so this time we have f of x equals x divided by 7, so in this case the function takes an input and divides it by 7 and then returns the output. So when the input is 14, we're going to do 14 divided by 7, so 14 divided by 7 equals 2, so the output is 2 when the input is 14. When f of 2, so when we have an input of 2, we're going to be doing 2 divided by 7. 2 divided by 7 is going to be a bit of a decimal, and it's not really very nice as a decimal. So we can just leave it as a fraction. That's absolutely fine to just leave this one as 2/7. The next one we have the input is minus 1. So our input this time is going to be minus 1. So we're going to end up with minus 1 over 7, which again is a bit nasty. So we're just going to leave it as minus 1/7. And then the last one, our input is 0. So we're going to do 0 divided by 7, and 0 divided by 7 is 0, so that is the answer to that question. So here's another example. We have f of x equals 2x plus 1. So it says find x when f of x equals 5. So this time it's a bit different. So our output is 5. So we need to work out the input that generated the output of 5. So we need to equate 2x plus 1 to 5. And then we just need to solve for x. So solving this, we minus 1 from both sides. So we end up with 2x equals 4. And then 2x equals 4, so we need to divide both sides by 2 to get x by itself, and we end up with x equals 2. So the input that returns an output of 5 is 2. Here's another example. We have 5 minus 3x. We want to find x when f of x is minus 7. So again, we want to find the input that gives an output of minus 7. So again, we're going to equate our function to minus 7. So then we need to solve this. So if we minus 5 from both sides, we end up with minus 3x equals minus 12. And then we divide both sides by 3. So x equals 4. So the answer to this question is 4. So when our input is 4, our output is minus 7. Here we have f of x equals x squared take away 1. So we want to find x when f of x equals 8. So we're going to equate our function x squared minus 1 to 8. So we add 1 to both sides. So we end up with x squared equals 9. And then taking the square root of 9 is actually plus or minus 3. So this one has two solutions. When x is 3 or when x is minus 3, our output is positive 8, sorry. Here's an exam style question on this topic. So we have a function is defined as f of x equals 4x minus 7. We first need to find f of 3, and then we need to find x when f of x equals 9. So pause the video if you want to have a go at this one for a moment, and I'll go through this question in a moment. Okay, so well done if you had a go at that. So for part A, what we're going to do is we're going to put in an input value of 3. So this time we're going to work out f of 3. So we're going to replace x with 3. So it's going to be 4 times 3 take away 7. So 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 take 7 is 5. So f of 3 is equal to 5, and that's the answer to that one. And then part B, we're trying to find the input that gives an output of 9. So we're going to equate our function to 9. So 4x take away 7 equals 9. Then we add 7 to both sides, so 4x equals 16. And then divide both sides by 4, x equals 4. And that is the answer to that question. Here are some quick-fire practice questions on this topic. So pause the video and have a go at these, and I'll reveal the answers in a moment. Okay, well done if you had a go at those. I've just revealed the answers, so mark your work. Well done if you had a go at those, and well done if you managed to get them all correct. And that's everything for this video. So next time we're going to be looking at composite functions. So have a look at that video if you want to practice that topic. But otherwise, I'll see you again in another video. Bye!